the mother of the Alps. High in the Swiss Alps, in a tiny village carved between glaciers and pine valleys, lived Mira Baumann, a woman whose kindness was spoken of in the same breath as the mountains themselves. The villagers often joked that the Alps stood tall only because Mira's love held the sky in place. Mira had 3 children: Lena, the eldest, gentle like the morning snow; Jonas, the middle one, curious as the mountain winds; Emil, the youngest, whose laughter could melt ice. Their father had died in an avalanche when the children were young, and Mira raised them alone in a wood and stone chalet overlooking the Great Aletsch Glacier. She worked as a mountain guide, leading tourists through frozen trails, but she always returned before sunset to sit with her children beside the fire. Her rule was simple: whatever you do, leave people better than you found them. Every night she told them stories, not of kings and warriors, but of healers, teachers, and strangers who chose compassion even when the world offered cruelty. These, she would say, are the true giants who walk the earth. Years pass, and trouble arrives. The children grew into strong adults shaped by the mountains and their mother's lessons. But their peaceful valley slowly changed. A wave of cross-border terrorism began creeping through the region. Refugee routes through the Alps turned dangerous. Small towns that once heard only cowbells and waterfalls now heard gunfire in the distance. Mira, aging but still strong, tried to remind everyone that fear should not erase humanity. "Light candles," she urged the villagers. "Do not burn bridges." But the conflict worsened. Checkpoints tightened, borders closed, and families were separated by invisible lines drawn not by mountains, but by men. Her 3 children left the valley to work in different cities: Lena as a nurse in Zurich, Jonas in diplomacy training in Geneva, and Emil serving as a mountain rescue technician in Bern. Yet every month, no matter what, they returned home to sit by Mira's fire. The day the mountains went silent. One winter, an attack across the border triggered emergency travel restrictions. Roads were closed, aerial surveillance intensified, and civilian movement was suspended. That same week, Mira fell gravely ill. The doctor sent word to the children, but border restrictions locked them out. No vehicle was permitted to climb through the guarded passes. The children tried everything: pleas, letters, appeals, but nothing crossed. Inside her chalet, as snow buried the rooftops, Mira whispered to her neighbor, "Tell my children, I am proud of the light they carry." The children heard the news by a crackling phone connection, and miles away, unable to cross the border, they each cried into a silence heavy as the Alps. Mira Baumann passed away during a soft snowfall. The mountains seemed to bow their white heads, the decision that changed everything. After their mother's funeral, held without them, the 3 siblings met at a Swiss border station, hugging with the desperation of people who had lost something irreplaceable. Jonas spoke first. "Mother always said, when you meet darkness, bring a lantern. This terrorism, this pain, it is darkness. We must become lanterns." They made a vow. They would join the Swiss army, not out of hatred, but out of purpose. Lena enlisted as a frontline medic. Jonas joined an intelligence and negotiation unit. Emil became a mountain infantry soldier. But they carried one unbreakable rule: we will fight terrorism. We will never fight humanity. What made them different? Unlike other soldiers, the Baumann siblings requested special permission to meet and support families of captured or killed terrorists. Their commanders hesitated. This was unheard of, but eventually allowed it, under supervision. When the siblings visited those families, the world often stared in disbelief. Lena would bring medicine. Jonas would sit with grieving mothers and speak gently in their language. Emil would repair broken doors, bring food, carry firewood. One old woman asked them through tears, "Why do you help us? Your people fear us." Jonas held her trembling hand. "Our mother taught us, pain passes through generations, unless someone chooses to stop it. We choose to stop it." Slowly, families on both sides of the conflict began respecting the three siblings. Children waved at them. Old men nodded at checkpoints. Fear softened into fragile trust. Word spread that the three soldiers from the Alps fought terrorists but protected their families. They became symbols, not of violence, but of restorative courage. The legacy. Years later, after peace talks succeeded and the violence faded, the siblings climbed to their mother's chalet. Snow glowed under the moonlight, and cold air rang with memories. They lit a single lantern at her window, the lantern she once used when guiding travelers. "Mother," Lena whispered, "we tried to live as you taught us." Jonas added, "We fought the wrong in the world, but never the wronged." Emil, eyes wet, whispered, "You shaped us into the people the world needed." And as the lantern flickered, the wind rose gently, almost like a sigh of approval. The siblings felt it. They knew. Mira Baumann, mother of the Alps, had not really left them. Her love lived on in every act of compassion they carried into the world.